I don't have deep hatred of this woman in my past life, but she was a very troublesome enemy. After the fall of the Tiandu kingdom, I was seriously injured and exiled to the Shishui kingdom. When I was slightly recovered from my injuries, I disregarded the Empress of Shishi's dissuasion, insisted heading back and fight for Tiandu kingdom. But on my way back to the Tiandu kingdom, I was obstructed by this old lady. Although I obtained the star host system in the Imperial Tomb of Secret Realm at that time, I couldn't fix my weakened combat power due to the incomplete soul vein, so my enemy engaged me with the soul chain. No doubt that I ran out of soul power in the battle, and forcibly released the star soul assembly from my mech. As I have not fully recovered from my injuries, hence I had no advantage or chance of winning this battle. After being forcefully released from the star soul assembly, this old lady brought her Shadow Lens division to confront me, and she arrogantly demanded that I surrender. I was greatly angered by her attitude, and I retorted, saying that the Empress of Shishui had already agreed to my request to leave. So what reason did their Shadow Lens division have to attack and besiege me? Were they planning to rebel against the will of Empress? But the old lady cunningly stated that she would arrest me on charges of stealing important military information from Shishui Kingdom. She did all of this to defend the country of Shishui. Of course, I didn't believe a word she said. In reality, she just wanted to seize the star host system from me. Fortunately, at this critical moment, a fleet under the command of the Empress of Shishui appeared on the river. The commander opened the broadcast on the ship, and declared that they had the imperial decree from the Empress, which was a decree for me. Upon seeing the appearance of the ship, the old lady immediately realized that Her Majesty must have made up her mind to protect me. While she was contemplating the situation, the envoy of the Empress continued speaking, and stated that the Shadow Lens division should cease any action and release the Star Soul mech. Seeing this, Tong Ju Xiang, the old lady, as the chief of the Shadow Lens division, raised her hand and stopped her subordinates from taking further action, because she knew it is not the right time to go against the Empress. During the time we waited for the envoy coming ashore, neither side engaged for conflict. The imperial decree sent by the Empress also indicated her intention to protect me, and she said that my contribution in saving her justified my appointment as the Marquis of Naniwa. She even asked me to enter the harem and wait for further summons that same day. I was surprised of what I heard. I couldn't understand what the Empress was thinking, because the title of Marquis was the highest status among the male consorts in the harem. Based on what I later learned, the old lady actually hoped to take me away for interrogation. The abilities of the Star Host system were too similar to what she knew about Master of Tai Yuan, and she wanted to obtain my Star Host system, whatever it takes. So when I was ready to leave with the envoy, the old lady couldn't resist anymore, and ordered her subordinates to use force to threaten us to stop. Fortunately, the envoy who came was not someone to be trifled with. She immediately questioned whether the Shadow Lens division was defying the decree, and if they were planning for rebellion. The old lady had no choice but to humbly say that there were many questions on me remained unanswered, so I couldn't be allowed to leave. The envoy replied that if she had evidence, she could directly return to the capital and present it to the Empress. If the evidence was sufficient, the Empress would handle it accordingly. After saying these words, she added that the personal guards of the Empress had come to summon me to the palace, and the Shadow Lens division didn't have the authority to obstruct. After thoroughly intimidating the old lady, the envoy instructed me to board the ship with peace of mind, promising that no one could stay in my way anymore. At that moment, it felt really satisfying to have someone backing me up, so I turned around and wished the old hag a long and healthy life, jokingly reminding her that she was already over 100 years old, and she should take care of herself. Perhaps it was my words that angered her, and later that I know she was the culprit for losing the Shishui Kingdom's 400 years of heritage. Even the previous Empress of Shishui probably didn't expect that. The Shadow Lens division, established by the old hag from slaves appointed by her, ended up being the cause of the downfall of the Shishui Kingdom. So now, being trapped in this illusion, curiosity driven me, because I didn't expect this old hag to be the servant of the Star Soul General Wenzong's family, which must be the reason why this illusion has gone on 13 times. But based on the current development of the plot, I still yet find any clues. The relationship between Huang Miao Ying and Tong Ju Xiang seems pretty good, but the next moment, I noticed something strange. Tong Ju Xiang, her face actually went blushed when she saw Sakong Jing, and her every move was like the hostess of the house. During dinner time, they were laughing and joking, like a normal family would do. Seeing this, I used my administrative authority in the illusion realm, fast forward the time, and jumped straight to the evening. But then I noticed Sekong Jing was reading a book about sealing formations. And I also saw information about the elemental's reversal sealing tomb formation in the book, because the formation technique was similar to the formation that banished the war god Patriarch. So I planned to secretly learn this formation technique, but while I was memorizing the information, Tong Ju Xiang unexpectedly came behind the door, and just when I thought she was also here to learn the formation, she boldly pushed the door open, and she dressed quite revealing tonight, and after seeing the shocked expression on Sekong Jing's face, she became even more proactive. Her flirtatious expression made it clear that she wanted Sekong Jing to make mistake tonight, but Sekong Jing didn't disappoint me. He refused her temptation, but if he were truly so resolute, this illusion wouldn't have repeated 13 times. So after Sekong Jing refused, Tong Ju Xiang intensified her seduction efforts, and from her expression, I could tell she wasn't doing it out of love. She was doing all this to achieve a certain purpose. Otherwise, she wouldn't have become the chief of the Shadow Lens Division later on. After all, Sekong Jing couldn't resist the intense seduction from her. It's true what they say, heroes have always been vulnerable to the charms of beauty.